Good evening. Happy Friday. I'm starting to get under the weather. I'm not like fully under the weather, but it's like one of those things where it's kind of like I got the sniffles coming. Like I feel it in my body. It's not quite achy, but I could feel it coming. So if you know what that means, like how that feels, that's why I have my favorite thing to wear to keep me kind of warm and comfy whenever I'm starting to feel sick is my sloth onesie. And yes, there is a tail, but I'm not going to get up and show that. And there's so, and it's also a Halloween season. So why not dress up as a sloth? Anyway, so we have kind of a not quite different show tonight. There's some things I want to talk about, like the spicy edgelord chat from the Young Republicans that has the left clutching their violence advocating pearls. And it's something that unless you're in, or I guess in a way participant, unless you partake in the alternative subcultures, you may not know this is quite going on. Although I'm sure you could probably guess. If you're not within alternative subcultures, then this is not something that either pertains to you or it might interest you. You know, if you follow me, you somewhat care. But when a lot of times people think of alternative people, like metalheads, punks, goths, emos, or whatever, nowadays, their minds go to people of a certain ideology. Well, that has, I would say, not only the silent majority, or it could even be a silent majority, has a lot of people who have been feeling very alienated and ostracized for quite some time. And it's kind of reached its boiling point. It really has. And I have the best guess for that. Now, when I say it's reached its boiling point, you have people who do think differently in these scenes, music scene, you know, just like general alternative scene, right? And if they have any kind of views that are problematic, they get canceled. Cancel culture has become the thing of the predominantly left. Now, the right has taken a few, pointers from their book, unfortunately. They're just kind of giving them a taste of their own medicine, basically. But anyway, who I have on today is somebody who is a victim of that cancel culture. And he is also one of the admins of the Facebook group, Goths Against Cancel Culture, which I have recently joined, and it has been great. It is a wonderful place to just kind of chill and not worry that somebody's going to get butthurt over something you say. So it's pretty refreshing. It's very refreshing. So without further ado, let me bring on Brian Graupner. If you are an industrial fan, you might know him as Brian Graupner from The Gothscicles, and currently of a solo act called Ghastly Invertebrate. I did do a song with him. I was featured on a song. So that's actually on iTunes as well, if you want to check that out. But he writes some of the most based stuff I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. There is a review on the alternativesovereign.com. You can actually search for Gasoline Invertebrate. I did a whole review of his latest album, and it is fantastic. So let's go ahead and stop chit-chatting. Let's go ahead and bring Brian on.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I am well. I get to be on the alternative sovereign, so I am doing amazingly well. I was gonna wear my otter onesie, but then we kind of slide into the furry thing if we both do
Oh.
it. So I'll just show us Castlevania 3 here. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me on. This is exciting.
Yeah, and I know it's almost like a sensitive subject because being canceled is not it's not necessarily something pleasurable to go through. It is hell. I know it's been hell for you. I've kind of seen its effect on you, and you're a wonderful person. You are like one of
Oh,
my favorite people on X. Like I'm not even bullshitting you. You are
oh.
such a really nice, genuine, cool person, very talented, and you have been absolutely been through the ringer. Now you've actually embraced it in a way because you've doubled down, and that backbone you have, I highly respect. Like you will not
Uh,
believe. So give us a little bit of history about that and how you've kind of seen the scene change with politics coming in to the point where it led to your cancellation.
mm, okay. Yeah, it's an evolving process, and there's like continuing phases. So I'm not 100% sure where to jump in, but um, I will. uh the ball sort of got rolling. I do this show on which I think you were the guest. The show on which you were the
Yeah.
guest is still the most viewed episode, so this will probably be the
Oh.
biggest thing I've done since that episode on YouTube. um but I had who's now a good friend of mine. I didn't know her well at the time. Uh, a guest on who did like some internet, like a gaming show, and like I like to
Mhm.
talk to creators and stuff like that. And uh, I had her on my show, and we talked about like City of Heroes from 2005 for like 20 minutes. That's the whole episode. Like we talk about how to make a prison shake. It's just whatever, just yakking, right? Like a YouTube show. Um, she had made some. If you look this up on like Grok or whatever knows tells will tell you the
Mhm.
story. It says she was a transphobe, meaning she'd like retweeted some stuff that were like mildly critical of gender ideology and like defending kids and stuff, and which hell yeah, but like uh the reason I bring that up is that was enough in 2003 to shut my whole thing down. Like that, just because I talked to this person on Space Couch, I lost, to
Yeah.
say nothing of my marriage. I lost I got all my gigs canceled, like the big fancy ones in like England. I was going to play like Seattle and Milwaukee, and the record label that I started, was exited from, and I had to move. Like like I lost my home effectively. Like it went wild. Like I wish I was exaggerating, but this is what I've experienced. And then so like you said, I doubled down into it and was like, well, as long as um you know everything's gone, I might as well just put my feelings into song, which you're not allowed to do unless it's pre-approved. Which how is that an alternative subculture if you're gonna assign me my thoughts like it's homework?
Yeah,
And
conforming into a nonconformist kind of scene is the most uh, asinine thing I've ever heard of.
it's like an old joke, but it was just I'm watching this happen in front of my eyes. Like, am I being punked right now? Is this like a giant candid camera thing? It was so out of control. And then people had to make up more and more stuff because it was such a zero burger that I got shut down for, that it just kept going. And then I got turned into a ultra fascist. I've now ruined two of my favorite bands. The not ruined, but Imperative Reaction, who produced partially Rage Megas, which you were nice enough to
Hmm.
review. lost his record deal. Another guy whose name I won't say had to publicly denounce me, so he would, or else they wouldn't sign him to a label. And then I joined one of my favorite old school industrial bands since high school called Hate Department, having nothing to do with, like, it's a riff on State Department. It's about Rubbergate at the time, which was like how old that band is. But I joined them, and I've now cost them 2 gigs because they wouldn't be in a fascist with me. The current chapter of this thing, and I know I'm rambling, but it's just doesn't stop. This thing, just cut me off whenever it's your show.
No, I like you going in depth with this because it shows just how deep the vitriol goes. And all you did was have somebody on your show. Didn't even talk about the gender ideology.
No.
And this whole guilt by association. It's like you're tainted just for speaking to somebody who disagrees, and they want you to bow down, and you didn't. You never bowed down.
And in the end, that's verboten. Like, and that's what I think people really got mad at me for, is because there was this giant, like, don't have this person on your show, like weird, like, Facebook campaign. And I was like, no, I'm not. Who are you? Like, why do I have to, like, do what you say? Like, guy.
When is it punk rock to do what people tell you? You know,
right? It's like, I don't even know your last name, guy with a Naruto icon. Just, like, don't tell me what the fuck to do. And so, like, people just broke out, and, like, all my friends I lost, and, like, even like stalwart, like, childhood friends that, like, I can remember, like, listening to Weird Al tapes when we were 9, like, have to, like, publicly disown me. Like, why you? You know, that's when you find out who your friends are. Smash cut to today, sort of the most recent chapter, is this a wonderful band, Hate Department, and that guy has been a soldier, just spine of space titanium made of the Steven Siebold is his name. His name, I'll say, definitely on the Mighty Alternative Sovereign show. Got invited to this big festival called Dark Force Fest. It's the Vampire Freaks people, if you remember them.
Yeah. I know that fest.
Yeah, it's gone through a couple name changes. Currently called Dark Force Fest. The Gothscicles have played it a bunch, and we were sort of darlings of that scene, believe it or not. Like, the Vampire Freaks was, like, more or less launched my career, but this year's lineup is crazy. Like, name an industrial band, and they're on there, just like legends, right? Hate Department gets asked to play, and people find out that I've joined Hate Department and flipped out. You would have thought I started the Rwandan genocide, LG. Like gone crazy. He is the biggest. Look, I got upgraded to racist out of nowhere. Like, where did that one come from? And just tossed it in like it's nothing. And so now Hate Department got kicked off. So, like, I got just, like, it would have been a giant opportunity. They would have written. He's working on new material now because of this, but would have written, like, the first Hate Department album in years heretofore. And now it's just with the help of the mighty LG, this Goths Against Subculture group more or less got started as a reaction to that whole Dark Force Fest thing on like my behalf. And then, like, Steven got kicked off of this Killing Joke tribute that they were going to do, done by Martin Atkins of Pigface and some band called 9 Inch Nails. So, like, now like, he knows my name, and, like, I'm involved in this weird thing, and it's, like, crazy. And then I just got a very nice shout out because of that on the Jake Monroe thing, his show, which was, he's, like,
a cool dude.
Amazing. Yeah, I brought up the track that we did. He was like, oh, he thought that was cool. Did you know that I put the track? Well, maybe we'll get into this later, but I posted on Reddit a link to 2 tracks that I did. One is the one that has the Mighty Libertarian Goth on it, and the other is the Imperative Reaction remix of a song I did called "Leftism is Bad," just because, I wanted to make it as clear as possible. And
Yeah.
the imperative reaction remix of Leftism is Bad is so much more quote unquote offensive to the left than our track is. And our track got removed. They said that was offensive, but left
Wow.
the other one up because they just can't handle hot chicks in mega hats. Make America goth again.
Oh yeah, I did see that Reddit thread where they were making fun of the hat, but the thing is that hat sells well, and that hat is beloved by everybody, left and right, whenever I wear it in public. But I do kind of want to bring up, so you've been through the ringer, like I said, you've been dragged through hell, and you kept on kicking, you doubled down. That is the most badass thing anybody can do. It, regardless if you feel like you might have hit rock bottom, I have so much respect that you just kept going.
Thank you.
And it's almost like, because the whole politics have come to a boiling point, and I think it's even getting worse and elevating even more after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that there's many people in the alternative subcultures who don't agree with celebrating things like assassinations of your political opponents or just assassinations in general, are starting to come out of the woodwork now. They're starting to say, look, this kind of ideology is wrong. We shouldn't be celebrating assassinations. The man was killed in front of his whole family and everything. So now that it seems like everybody else is starting to come out, the way I see it from the outside looking in, it's almost like you're rebuilding, but with a different audience, but still in the same scene in a way. It's like you are making a comeback, but not with the same people, but with the same audience in a way. I'm not sure if you can kind of expand on that, but
no,
yeah, like how do you feel like it's almost because of the heightened political state right now, that there are people starting to come out now. There are people being more unapologetic about not being like pro, like sex changes for children, and not being pro, celebrity assassinations and political violence. How do you feel like that? It's almost like a comeback. I feel like you're coming back personally. How do you kind of feel about that?
Bradley Juby, leftism is ass. I love it. That'll be the next follow up. Well, it feels like a vibe shift, right? I mean, like, just sort of piggybacking or slothbacking, as the case may be, on what you said earlier, that in this Goths Against Cancel Culture group, like, relief is sort of the sentiment. Like, people will post like, oh my, thank goodness somebody's saying something. Like, it's just this, oh, I don't have to like stay silent for fear of being Donnybrook by the mob. And it's interesting because Jake Monroe and I had sort of a preliminary chat before he comes on. Here's a Libertarian Goth exclusive. Jake will be on Space Couch in early November, so look forward to that episode. But we had a little preliminary chat, and what we talked about is kind of what you're talking about, the audience, which because I sort of grew up in goth world, it's difficult to do what I want to do for different people, because it's like with this Dark Force Fest, it was like, yeah, I know everybody hates me, but I'm gonna like weirdly dip my big toe back into this world. Oh, you hate me still, okay. So what Jake and I talked about was like being uncancelable by taking away sort of that audience and building a new one in its place. And if it's got to be a combination of new people and people that are like, I got this weird idea that killing people is bad, like, and people, I mean, not to be glib, but just people that are willing to be like, it's too much, like, I'm out of this, whatever this bizarre movement is, by which I mean leftism. So I think we're gonna get to that place, like, because it's just the bluff is getting called. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like which is why I think people are freaking out so hard. And I know we haven't gotten to this yet, but this Goths Against Cancel Culture group is getting crazy pushback. Like, if you're on
Oh
that
yeah.
group, that means you're a Nazi that kicks and eats puppies, and like just like it's insane shit. And I think it's because they know that their bluff is getting called. Like, yeah, maybe
Mhm.
you went too far. You got
Yeah.
called on it. And so
Well, when you
to bring it
dehumanize your people, like other people for so long, other people are going to see how much you're dehumanizing. If they're apolitical and they see
right.
how crazy you are dehumanizing people, celebrating deaths and assassinations of
Mhm.
people, they're going to say, okay, I don't care about politics, but you're fucking nuts. You
Right.
know, a lot of
Like,
people are just backing out of that.
a lot of people are given, and I know he's a Democrat, but like John Fetterman is catching crazy hell just because he's like, I'm not going to call them Nazis. And now that's like, fuck you, die. You're like, okay, wow. I mean, way to show your hand, right?
Do they really even know what a Nazi is these days? Because from what I last understood, you know, growing up in like the South or whatever, if you're a Nazi, you're not going to deny that you're a Nazi. You're going to be proud that you're a
Right.
Nazi. You know, and if somebody says they're not a Nazi, they're probably not a Nazi, because the thing is that Nazis will proudly state that they're Nazis. That's almost part of the ideology, is that, you know, you have certain feelings about like races and such. Although Nazism is National Socialism that they like to forget.
Well, in a
And
weird,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, it's that, and they love socialism.
They love that shit. This is not my thought, but in a weird way, they've kind of made it like no better time to be an actual racist, because the word racism has just been so deprecated that like when everything is racist, nothing is. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, if I actually harbored some crazy thoughts, like I could get away with it, I guess, because now just talking to people on a podcast gets you called a Nazi.
Yeah, that's so strange. And that's like one thing I want to bring up too. This recent young Republicans, I call it the edgelord chat, because
Right.
that's what it was. And the thing is that the fact that they have pushed calling people Nazis for so long and so hard, and calling people racist for so long and so hard, that it's basically become a meme on the right to try to
Right.
say the most radical stuff, and they don't mean it. You know they don't mean it, because whenever you know talk to them, they have friends of all different walks of life, and they don't act or actually believe any of those edgelord beliefs. However, the left actually believes in political violence, and they actually do participate in political violence. And they celebrated the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But yet they're clutching their pearls over somebody saying that I love Hitler on a edgelord chat.
It's beyond parody. Like, we've all done it. We've all 1,000 times. I do that shit every day, just because I get called Nazi stuff, and then I go, well, I'm not, but I'll bring it up tonight at the white power meeting. Like, it's a joke, obviously. I'm like,
Yeah.
so, but if you put it in print and just make that the headline, Brian Graupner says he's going to a white power meeting, it looks super bad. And I think they all know it, but it's this weird sense of being
They want it to
owed
be
it.
true.
They want it to be true. Like, no, we're owed this victimhood. This is our thing. Even though at the same time, you could write it as this Jay Jones crap where the guy's saying like cartoonish crazy stuff. Like, I hope the
Mm-hmm.
kids die in their mother's arms. Like, they're like, yeah, but we get to have ours too, which is this private chat of 22-year-olds that like got leaked. So now that like, now the vice president has to weigh in on that. Like, it's a thing at all. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
And the thing is that there's so much hypocrisy in the fact of, you know, they're saying these edgelord things, and they have gotten more upset over that than over somebody, uh, assassinating a person in cold blood in front of a crowd just because they disagree with what they said. He didn't do anything. They didn't like what he said. So their thing is that leading with feelings, it really just kind of sets you up for not living in reality, period. Because a lot of times people can't trust their feelings. And if they're going to lead by their feelings, like, they wanted this whole victimhood thing, and the words hurt their feelings. So they feel a certain way whenever,
words are violence.
Yes, words are violence. But then actual violence isn't violence.
No, actual violence where we kill a guy in front of not just a guy. Like I listen to him every day. That one really screwed me up. We did it. This is gonna sound like a plug, but it's I guess it kind of is.
Plug away.
But like, I started this other electronic band with the guy I met on Truth Social, of all places, called Serpaduce. And we did a song about the Charlie Kirk after the fact, because that's just, we speak in industrial music. What do you want us to get it right about? And that was shared around as like a smoking gun, as like evidence that I'm a bad person. It's because I wrote a song lamenting the death of Charlie Kirk. So like, that's just, I wanted to bring that up as evidence of like how crazy it is. And I made the problematic bands list on Reddit, which is a thing. Like I'm not even. Oh
no, I've seen it. I saw it in the goth Reddit. I don't really participate in the goth subreddit, but I've been on there, and I saw that they have a list of problematic bands, and it's just further irony that it's supposed to be a non-conformist subculture, but yet they have these outlines and these bands that are problematic that you cannot like. You're not allowed to like them.
It's kind of awesome because like now I'm in a league with David Bowie, that hate monger. Like he's on the list. Like so it's. But back to your point, yes, you can celebrate. Like literally celebrate, like make t-shirts and dance TikToks about this insane murder that happened. I mean, it happened like a month ago, but it feels like it happened last year just because the news cycle moves so fast, and people, like I said, it's beyond parody that people are going so ape shit about edgelord jokes that, speaking like, you could find more horrible shit on like 4chan in 2 seconds back in the day, and now it's like, it just reeks of desperation.
Here in the chat, you have a lot of support here. Cousin Eddie says problematic bands sounds like a badge of honor.
Oh, it's the best, dude. Yeah, like people are like, how do I get on that? Like, you don't want to be on it, but like I guess kind of you do. Like, talk to me, apparently.
Yep. Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm not a band, but I'm sure I'm already problematic because my name anyway. Reddit's problematic. Walkie and Dragon says Reddit's problematic are the most base bands ever. I know you're base. You're base, Brian. I already knew that. Especially since they put Misfits on there. The Misfits are problematic. What's problematic about the Misfits?
I don't know.
They're too good.
Me and Danzig hang out at the meetings,
Oh wait, is that? I can't remember who it is. No,
Michael Graves.
No, I'm thinking about Sex Pistols. I'm sure they're probably on the problematic bands list.
They all look the same to me too.
Well, they're all
so racist. Era. What's that?
They're all kind of the same era.
Yeah,
in a way. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, like it's totally a badge of honor to be on the problematic bands list. And I was actually looking at the problematic bands list on the goth subreddit, and I was trying to look for band recommendations from it. She's like, oh, problematic bands. Okay, so this is who I should listen to then.
Oh yeah. Like, I only want to listen to the safe industrial bands. Like, it's a contradiction in terms. Are you fucking kidding me?
The ones that don't live in reality, and the ones that are going to say things that you want, say things that you like. And the thing is that I bet a lot of these people don't really like or care, and they just probably scream the most because they want to be liked. They want to be virtuous. They want to in a way fit in. And it's almost like wokeism is also a social contagion in a way. People all
Bruh.
like a lot of people just, it's almost like they're so bored. They want to make an impact on the world. And so in the way, they all want to be activists. They're all LARPing as activists in some way. So by making noise and this victimhood thing, you feel like you're really fighting for a cause, but you're making shit up, honestly.
I witnessed it personally. Like I got upgraded to like racist and anti-Semite for like out of nowhere. I'm like, what? And just it, but it got to be like the beyond me in terms of it just was like I could have been anybody. It just became an opportunity to virtue signal. And I know that word gets overused now, but that's what it was. It was just
Yeah.
who could denounce me harder. And it was like, well, I've known Brian, blah, blah, blah. So I think, I was like, I met you for 5 seconds in 2013, guy I kind of know on Facebook. Like, what the fuck is this?
Getting clout off of the hate train.
Yeah, it was hate clout. It was who I think opened first in 2005, but it was just this hate clout of who can denounce me harder, and it just got to be just silly. Like bands I used to love have like written songs about me now, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It's wild. I don't want to say who they are, but it rhymes with Assemblage 23. Is like, wow, okay, damn. I guess that's where we are.
You know, it's also kind of odd because cancellation is actually one of the most extreme forms of bullying. And they don't really understand or see that. And your only crime was having somebody on with problematic views, and then they end up bullying you for it because of guilty by association, I suppose. And the thing is that there have been people who could not take a cancellation, have actually gone as far as to take their own life, unfortunately, and they've cheered. But yet this is the loving, accepted, tolerant people that are supposed to care about life. You know, I don't think that they're as virtuous as they really think. They're as virtuous as they think others make them, or that how others see them, on how hard they fight for things. But they're terrible people.
It's gotten like, I don't want to bring you down, but like it's gotten really dark on my end. Like, because I mean, like I lost a flipping marriage over it. Like it was it was like, it's like the worst thing. Like it still kind of messes me up. And then like I moved to Tennessee just to like get away from it, and it didn't work. And so like there's just all this chaos going on, and like there was like I'm coming through this, like watching my lifelong friends just compete to see who can denounce me harder for, like, it's not like I was involved in a hit and run where I massacred a family or some just crazy stuff. It was like it's just talking to people on a show I had on that space couch. It's still going, but like it was like the Bridge of the Enterprise. I've talked to trans people, gay people, people of all races. Like pick a combination of whatever. They were probably on that space couch show. And Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. But
watch it.
I had to really, you know, it got pretty effing dark for like a while, and then you think you're out of it, and then like gigs started getting canceled here in Tennessee, where it's like I moved out of Boston, and it was like everybody knows him. Like I was like banned from all the clubs in Boston. Like I'm not making this up. I was like I'm physically banned, and then so I'm like I'll just get out of the New England, and then people won't know me, even though the Gothscicles got to like a level, and then I got like a gig in Tennessee, and then it would be like, we heard some things about you. Like, oh no, like even when it's starting from like nobody knowing who I am to like, And then did I tell you this? I got like recognized in the club. Like I went to just like the Gothic club, right? I'm like, I'll meet new people. And then I got like recognized and had to like submit, like, we know who you are. And, like, had to like submit to the panel that like, no, I don't hate gay people. It was like, all right, I guess I'm not going here again. Like, it just wouldn't stop. So yeah, the cry bullying aspect of it is real. And now, and I'll keep bringing this up just because it's my most recent experience, this Goths Against Cancel Culture group. There's been 3 other Facebook groups that it got started to like denounce it. Like, they started one called Goths Against Fascism, Goths Against Cancel Culture, and like one other one that I can't even remember, but it's just like, there can't be, like, you can't have the other side. Like, it can't exist. Words are violence. We have to shut this down. But if you say something we don't like, we're gonna cry to the point that your band gets kicked off Dark Force Festival or whatever.
Or if they wish so, eventually killed and then celebrated.
I got enough threats of violence at this Dark Force Fest thing that was like, the joke was that I was going to have to make a Dark Force vest, like a bulletproof vest, to show up to and which is dark because I know we're talking about this sort of thing, but it was just like, you're reading this stuff where it's like, some guy wants to do XYZ to my face and somebody wants to like dissolve my friend's body with lye. And you're like, all right, shit talking.
How can you say that and be the good guy? Like, do they not hear themselves? And you're not the good person in the situation if you're saying things like that.
And edgelording is edgelording, like that's what we're talking about. But in a backdrop of like, yo, it's happening a lot. So like,
edgelording is one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're making threats, threats are not edgelording because you're actually threatening. If you're saying things like the young Republicans are saying things like, I love Hitler, like that's edgelording. But if you're telling somebody that you want to do something like physically harm them and you're threatening them with violence, that's not edgelording. That is just being a violent person.
Like,
and it's not protected by freedom of speech either.
And I'm out here with my real ass name, like Brian Graupner, and I want to remove his teeth. Was like one that I saw, like, okay, Jesus Christ, like when like the lighting guy is like threatening, like, okay, all right, this is the world we're living in now. But it's to go back to your other point, the backlash against it, like that rubber band just got pulled too far, and so now people are like, oh, thanks so much. Like, I thought I was gonna make no dollars on like a Kickstarter for Gasoline Invertebrate after coming out of the conservative closet, if you will, and like it got funded in half a day. It's like there's such a thirst, not your thirst calendar, like a thirst for like, something like an alternative viewpoint. Like, just because like I like Suicide Commando doesn't mean that I think men can become women. Like, there's no, like, where's the crossover there? It's the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, and there's such absolutes within that mindset. Just because, like you're saying, like you like that doesn't mean like you believe this or that. People should be able to separate art from the artist. And this is one thing I say about it is that I do, because if I don't, I won't have any entertainment, because the majority of Hollywood is left. The majority of the music industry is left, or they stay quiet because they don't want to be recognized as someone that doesn't lean how everybody else says to lean. But yet it's all this whole attitude is trickled into the alternative subcultures, which was made to go against the establishment, was to express yourself as you want to. So it's actually set with a freedom mindset to disassociate from the norm. But now they have created this norm on their own, and they don't see the irony, just severe cognitive dissonance, which is why I call them coggies. The severe cognitive dissonance in these people, that they're trying to tout that they're alternative, they're anti-establishment, they are non-conformists. But if you don't believe a certain way, you don't believe everything, you don't check all the boxes,
100%. You like no deviation.
Exactly. Then you are vermin. You must be like pushed off the face of the earth.
Absolutely, persona non grata, 100%. I want to get in real quick. Tabby Taboo says you live 30 minutes east of Nashville. I'm in Knoxville. Look me up if you want to hang out. So
I'm from Nashville.
Are you from Nashville? Oh, kick ass! I didn't know that.
Yeah, I told you that on your stream or something.
Oh,
I'm originally
okay.
from the Nashville area. Yeah.
Okay.
I live in Texas, but I'm originally from the Nashville area.
Dope. Well, I like Tennessee a lot, even though some people here don't, but that's okay.
Oh, I love Tennessee. I miss it.
It is nice. To your point, yes, it's like it's such I'm gonna come back to it again, self-parodying. It comes down to this punk rock. I don't care what anyone thinks as long as my opinion meets with approval. Then I don't care. Like, whoa, what? Like it's so wild and I mean, I think we all people trickle towards this world because they're sick of sort of the cookie cutter alternative, if you will. And then when the other thing turns into like, yeah, we're dark and weird and we have a cookie cutter that's just shaped like a bat, meaning like, no cookie cutter. I want to be like my own thing. I want to be a weird amoeba shaped cookie. Like, you can't have that. You got to stay exactly within our cookie cutter. And if you don't, we will throw you out.
And I'll take the raven over the bat any day.
Okay, totally.
Now
that's so Raven. But
now you mentioned Jake Monroe earlier, and I think I think highly of him. He's a really down to earth guy, really smart, really well spoken, and he has embraced his own type of cancellation. I believe he had some sort of cancellation because he had an ex-girlfriend issue who was also a YouTuber, and people took her side, and of course he's the straight white male, so his side didn't matter, which is basically why they didn't really take his side. They just took her side. Now, I don't know all about that whole thing because I didn't really start watching him till well after that, but he is also taking his somewhat cancellation in stride. He, like you said, that you and him were talking about how your audience is basically changing with what, in a way, how you're presenting yourself because of your own thoughts being more open, and you're attracting more like-minded people. Now he has really started to grow that whole, he's a make goth great again sort of movement that he's got going on. He is really trying to start, a movement to really wake up these people who are in alternative cultures that have been feeling alienated, have been feeling ostracized. And, he did give you that shout out on that video, which was wonderful. I did not expect that. And I saw that and I was like, hey, I know him. It was great. It was like,
it was really nice.
Of all people,
really nice
it was like he shouted out the most perfect person and the most perfect example of what the divide in the alternative subculture and how it has led to these disgusting cancellations of artists that have been in the scene for so long and have represented the scene for so long and have also not bowed down to the mob. Perfect example.
It was a really cool thing for him to do. I mean, we were like almost finishing each other's sentences within like 2 minutes of talking. It was like I met my good-looking UK brother. It was pretty awesome. That guy needs a thirst calendar, right? And
well, I actually messaged him one day. I was like, have you ever thought about putting out a calendar? Because I've made, this much money on my calendar. And then the day I released it, I was like, I've sold this many calendars this time. I made this. And he was like, I'm not going to give away what Jake's going to do, but I don't know if he's going to do it or not. But I did put that little seed in his head. Maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Okay.
But I did bring up to Jake that he needs to put his own calendar out too.
All right. Well, sick. Maybe I can get a package deal on my cool people calendar club.
Yeah. I hope he does. I'll support him, but I don't think it'll be like my calendar. I don't think he's going to put lingerie on and do pinup poses.
Fine. Well, I'll take what I can get. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like in the direct message you sent me tonight to be on your wonderful show, and thank you again. You'd use the phrase civil war, which I think is apt. Civil war, left and right, woke, non-woke, whatever you want to say. It's totally applicable, but in another sense, it's almost one way. Like in this, like you said, like I can separate art from artists. Like that band I mentioned earlier with the song that's basically about me. It's an awesome track. Like I wish it wasn't, but like it was really hard. It's like it's really cool, and I could like be like, yeah, it's pretty good.
At least it's good, and it's about you.
Yeah, right. But and like people in this GAC, we call it Goths Against Cancel Culture group, can like voice opinions, and it's fine. And it's like there can be this back and forth, and the divide is between divisive and non-divisive, if that makes sense. Like, so it's this weird half divide almost, that just mathematically. And it's like, I don't like, if you want to be like, you're fascist for doing that and like sort of force this issue, like I guess and then maybe this backlash is what happens if you keep wanting to do that. But it you push so hard, and you get guys like Jake who speaking of music, that guy kicks ass. Don't listen to him before like a big meeting or something, because your face gets shredded off every time you listen to his track, and then you'll have to like put your face back together like it's Play-Doh, and then you'll miss your meeting.
He's wildly talented.
He's bonkers talented, that dude.
Yeah, and I really like that there's somebody like Jake that is I don't want to say our side, but it's on the side of common sense. It's not on the side of this crazy mob that does not live in reality. Because he has such a big platform. Granted, he's even said that he's lost a lot of followers himself, but he's also gained a lot of followers. And, that whole shift, and it's part of the pendulum swinging. The pendulum is starting to swing in a way because, they've gone so far left and that they have made people either open their eyes, or the centrists have realized, like, y'all are fucking nuts. I'm not down with this. Because, and I've noticed that in the GAC Facebook group, the Goth Against Cancel Culture group, I've noticed that not everybody's political. There are people in there who are political, even myself, obviously the name, but you also have people who don't care about politics, who are apolitical and are not down with this kind of, dragging people for the pettiest things and then celebrating political violence. It's just not cool. It's inhumane and dehumanizing people, and it's leading to people actually dying, and they still think they're the good person. You can't be the good person advocating for that kind of stuff for words.
For like, well, I want to touch on a few things you said. Like, I'm glad you said air quotes our side, because I think it's worth noting that even though I think the world of you, you and I aren't 100% politically aligned, on a few things, but I still think you're awesome. And
thank you. I think you're awesome too.
Well, thank you. But like, if we can't agree that cold-blooded murder is on the bad side of the ledger, I don't know if we would have a lot to talk about. And yes, that's the sort of thing that to go to your other point, that's like pushing the center. Like I
Mhm.
just, even just to the point where it's like, I just want things to work again. Like, and I don't want to just have insanely high taxes for no reason, and a
Mhm.
government that is so bloated and just cartoonishly ineffective. And I just want a little bit of common sense, and or I want to
Mhm.
be able to even voice that idea without having to worry about losing my job in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Like it's that crazy. Um, and a lot of,
Yeah.
like, one of the big posts on this GAT group is, can you please make this
Mhm.
anonymous? Which I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not trashing anybody for that. Like, I've been there. I understand that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the point of that group is to sort of be unapologetic. And I
Mhm.
think that's awesome.
Yeah, and I do want to kind of bring up one accusation that it's I've heard people say, "Oh, you're just shitting on the left." Well, it's predominantly coming from the left, okay?
Yeah.
But one thing that I've noticed as an alternative non-leftist is that one of the first things they go to is call me a bootlicker. First off, and I know that you probably got that too. First
Oh,
off, their ideology is the one that likes government. And they might
yes.
say they hate the government because they hate Trump. No, they want more government programs. That's wanting more government. They want more government regulations. That's more government. And you can't get more bootlicker than wanting the government to have more control over things, gun control, like controlling the schools. And, it's the funniest thing because as a
The Department of
libertarian,
Education alone. But yes, go ahead.
yeah. And as a libertarian, it's practically minarchy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
losing like a lot of nails. If you want to buy a calendar so I can get a manicure. Anyway,
I'm judging you so personally.
nice plug. Yeah. So anyway, so it's like they are determined to call you a bootlicker, but it's like they don't understand the ideology of their political opponents even. Because a libertarian is the furthest away from a bootlicker that you can get and still have a government. Basically saying that, like, anarchist is the only one that is flat out not. And a lot of them try to claim to be anarchists, but they're not. Ancom is not a thing. Ancom is the
Oh,
biggest irony bullshit thing ever.
get out of here with those guys. Yeah, the bootlicker is an interesting word. I I had my life effectively ruined. Like, I I sometimes think of myself as like being 2 years old, because that's how long it's like my life stopped like about 2 years ago, and I've had to like rebuild it. Like, if I was a bootlicker, um, I would have been licking some serious boots to like not have to get divorced, or like leave my home or something like that. And then you're just making me think of like, I'll have to shoot you the thread after this, because it has to be seen to be believed. It somebody's trashing my now great friend's band, Imperative Reaction, like legendary industrial band.
Mhm.
And they were talking about, like, they were asking like if it's okay for me to like Imperative Reaction. I heard they're a Trump bootlicker. And it's like, you're asking other people if it's okay to like a band because you don't want to be a bootlicker. Do you not see, like,
That coggy's gonna cog.
Coggy's gonna cog. Oh my!
Coggy's gonna cog.
Right. It's kind of hilarious because like the as Onk is to goth, sort of that cog is to industrial.
Mm.
Like it's the like the actual like riveted thing is like
Oh.
the symbol of industrial. So like cog is just as if I could like you anymore. Spot on.
Yes, I guess coggy is really well universal for alternatives.
I
Like
mean,
I
I
said,
live in
I'm
a
not.
industrial world. Go on.
I'm not trying to make fetch happen with that
I will
word,
make
but
that happen on your behalf. And those coggies
yeah,
gonna cog.
damn coggies. Well, okay, we have only like a little bit of time left. I do want to give you some time to plug whatever, because you have a new audience. You have new people who are going to be drawn to you because of your cojones of steel for
Oh, well,
not
thank
bowing
you.
to the mob. And I want you to be as known as possible to this new
Aw.
audience of open-minded people with common sense who are in touch with reality. So whatever you want to plug, whatever you want to say, please, I will give you the floor a few minutes to do so. Please do.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. One thing I will say to that, I have it's kind of a pet theory going back to why the much more air quotes offensive track was allowed to stay up on Reddit and ours was taken down is because the other track had parentheses imperative reaction in the title as like imperative reaction remix, and they're like a big popular band, and like I got to like a level that I was very happy with, but like I'm a lot more punchable, like I'm a lot more hittable, meaning like people can take me down without having to worry about a lot of backlash. And I think I got to like just enough of like a level of juice where it's like, did you hear Brian from the Gothscicles is like a racist to like that's scintillating and titillating enough, but I wasn't big enough that's like I have like major label support that I can't but anyway, so to maybe get to that level, I don't stop. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now. Space Couch, check out the wonderful Libertarian Goth episode. Is a show that I do at youtube.com/Space Couch Show. Sunday at 3 p.m. we have some great guests coming up. This one is with Le Mort Dabi, a Nashville's own wonderful electronic lady. She just put out a drum and bass album. There's a gas remix on that. Check me out interviewing her. I think she's one of many artists that deserves to be ginormous. I run a record label called Ligerhawk Records. We just did air quotes signing with Crucifera, the Danielle who runs GAC, put out a bunch of new stuff today. New stuff comes out on Friday now. Ligerhawkrecords.bandcamp.com. Serpaduce, that collaborate from products, has a full length coming out. That's going to be based in both ways, like BASS and like that's like our political project. Really excited about that. Like that's like my newest thing. So it's like I haven't gotten sick of it yet as an artist. So like I'm really happy about it. And just put out, thanks to wonderful Kickstarter patrons, just put out 2 new EPs for Gasoline Invertebrate. Check out Misery Monster and The Feral Imperative. I have yet another EP in the works, should be out quickly, and I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting, but right now that's my big stuff is Ligerhawk Records, Space Couch, Gasoline Invertebrate, Serpaduce. That list of problematic bands you mentioned, something might be happening that rhymes with compilation, but you didn't hear me say that. I don't even know what we're talking about right now. But we're working on some big stuff. Our projects are in the works. That's all I'll say about that. Because it'll, you never know what's going to happen. But very exciting stuff coming out. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This has been really fun for me. I don't know if anybody enjoyed listening to me run my yap at the expense of. Can Brian give out his socials? Thanks, cousin Eddie. That's very kind of you. Gasoline NVBRT8 on X, like because you can only have so many characters on X, so it's Gasoline Invertebrate.
I did tag his actual handle on X. So.
Brian.Graupner, that's my name, on Facebook, and Space Couch Show on Instagram and YouTube and all that. If you put my name into a search engine, it basically calls me a Nazi now. So like, I guess I have that like for the rest of my life. So now you know that it's obviously totally true. But the reason I bring that up is that will also give you all the socials and stuff. So thank you to cousin Eddie. I just started the gas, like I gave in, and like I'm trying to do TikTok, but like I'm not good at it. Like it's really not in my nature. But gasoline is on TikTok now as well. So the CCP has all my dumb videos, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I do want to give a shout out, but today's show sponsor, of course, I should have brought this up. I did not have a lot of preparation for tonight, but anyway, if you watch the show, you know who the sponsor is for tonight's show. It is libertariangoth.com, the the internet's largest alternative geared Liberty apparel store. And the Liberty Trap calendar is available now, and the signed version is available for pre-order. So go ahead and get your pre-order, because I cannot guarantee that you will get one. I'm only going to get a few extras. And the regular calendar as well. Now, if you did not get a 2025, those are $5 off till the rest of the year. So if you want those, even though the year's almost over, go ahead and grab one of those. We also got some awesome shirts, hats, everything you want. I have leggings. I even have like bathing suits and shoes. But my personal favorite, I like to show Cyberbully the Government, which is right here, which you should do daily. It is your duty as a citizen. I know Brian likes this one. I'm not a leftist. I just look like one. And if you zoom in, it says, and I'm much better looking. So yeah, get you one of those.
I'm also a fan of it's in the dirty clothes hamper right now, but I got my deep state libertarian goth tank. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, the tarots.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I just gotta pull this one up just because it's pretty relevant right now. I stand with Massey because Thomas Massey is. The thing is that he is somebody that is uncancelable. Because it has such a base that is so dedicated to him. As you see, I have this shirt about Massey, and I have him on another shirt with Rand Paul. So yeah, I just had to bring up Massey because he is the shit. And yeah, so check out libertariangoth.com. And yeah, I appreciate any and all support. And I do want to thank you for coming on tonight. It was so last minute. And whenever you said yes, I was like, holy shit. Okay. I really honestly did not expect you to say yes. No,
it's all good. Like what am I going to do? Say no to no, I'm just kidding. Like it was a very well timed. It was like a providence, like I just happened to be available. So just happened to be available. Like I got anything going on. Like my gigs keep getting shut down. So I sort of just stay home now.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't already, subscribe so I can keep having awesome people like Brian on. And I would love to honestly have you back again. This has been a wonderful chat. Lots of fun. And it's just great to talk to somebody that, even though, like you said before, we don't agree on 100% everything, we can still disagree and walk away still in a good mood and not with any hate and not wishing harm on anybody. And yeah.
I mean, I got to talk to LG for an hour, so like all good on my end. Right. And I like that you do your show from space. That's cool. With the with the swirling space background. So that means we
my lights.
Well, on the stream, like
the stream, yeah, I think.
yeah. So like, because while we're out in the sky, like that means we don't have to open with a land acknowledgement ever. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. It's just like this little vortex of just darkness is all.
Okay, right. Just
sets the vibe.
Right. Okay. Dig it. Very Mortal Kombat.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, even if you popped in, popped out, whatever. And I know that you will all follow Brian as well.
Thank you. And what's up to the chat? Thanks for making me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Y'all have a great rest of the night. Stay awesome. Always lead with kindness unless they don't deserve it. And when I talk about when they don't deserve it, we're talking about the people who are legitimate bad people, not people you just disagree with. Bye.